Before I get started, I just want to remind you all that my web hosting course launches in just 26 days. It launches January 1st, and in this course, I teach people how to start a web hosting company, how to build a business, how to start earning passive income that just starts rolling in month after month after month without you really having to do much. As soon as that course launches, it's going to jump up in price, so make sure that you get it at the pre-order price today. There's a link down in my description below. Whenever you think of starting a website or looking for web hosting for cheap, there's one company that always comes to mind. Well, there's a couple companies that come to mind, but there's one in particular that comes to my mind, and that company is Bluehost. It seems like everybody and their dog uses Bluehost because they're cheap and you can get started, like, I think it's $3 a month, or maybe it's even less than that now. Now, rather than forcing you to watch this entire video, go through the entire thing, and then wait for my verdict at the very end, I'll just jump to the conclusion. I won't waste your time, and I will tell you that plain and simple, Bluehost is by far the worst web hosting company I have ever used, period. They are terrible. They are so terrible. And later in this video, I'm gonna actually back up, support my reasoning for that and tell you why I don't use Bluehost. So now you may be thinking to yourself, okay, Bryce, so if that's the case, then what company do you use? And that's easy. I use A2 Hosting for all of my web hosting. I've used them for years. They're super fast, great customer support. They're cheap, they're affordable. I mean, on par with Bluehost. I mean, you name it. I've been with these guys for years. I love them. I can't recommend them enough. So if that's what you came for, great, you can click away now, but I'm gonna back up my reasoning with some actual hard evidence and support as to why I personally don't choose to use Bluehost. First and foremost, they're owned by the parent company EIG. EIG is kind of this parent conglomerate company that goes around and they buy up all these little, or maybe not little, but smaller web hosting companies, and it's just all under the same parent organization. Now, EIG owns a lot of different web hosting companies, but you may be familiar with companies such as HostGator. HostGator and Bluehost, even though you'd think they'd be competitors, are not. They're owned by the exact same company. I think it was back in 2016 when Bluehost was bought out by this company, EIG, and quite frankly, they've just gone downhill since that point. Plain and simple, I flat out refuse to use any web hosting company owned by EIG. Before then, Bluehost was great. They had millions of customers, but you can actually see a trend over the years since they've been acquired by EIG. They've gone downhill pretty consistently. So take a look at this. This is EIG's stock, and if we look over the last 5 years, you can see that overall they're down, and they just have this like general trending downward line. There's been this little pop recently. I'm not quite sure what's happened, but I don't want to trust my business, my clients, my company with a company that doesn't have a great track record. Number 2, upsells. Upsells, that's a very standard business practice, and that's not what I'm upset with. I mean, when you've got a client and a customer, they're already purchasing something, it makes sense to say, hey, let's tack on this and this and this if you find it beneficial. The thing is that I feel like Bluehost is just a little bit too aggressive, and they force you to buy things that you just really don't need. So I actually started going through the process of filling out a brand new Bluehost account, signing up, everything like that. When you get to the very end of the checkout process, these by default are all checked. So again, you might be thinking, okay, whatever, just uncheck them. But it's not that easy, because when you're a company like Bluehost, you're targeting a specific demographic. You're targeting a specific subset of users who most of the time have never had a website before. They don't know what they're doing, and they need something super quick, cheap, and easy to get their business up and running. Now, when you're dealing with a group of people like that, they don't really know what they're doing. And so when you throw all these different things at them, CodeGuard, Bluehost SEO, SiteLock, Security Essentials, as a new user, you would think, oh, all those things are important. I need those. Not so much. And then you change your $2.95 or $2.95 hosting plan per month, and you add on all these things, and now it becomes $191 for the first month, which is $16 a month for hosting. And that, my friend, is insane. You should not have to pay $16 per month. Again, I want a company that helps me, and I don't feel like Bluehost does that. I want someone who, if I need it, they're there to hold my hand and walk me through a bunch of the processes without trying to upsell me on all these different services that I really don't need. Again, I'm an advanced user, so maybe this is just kind of a moot point and isn't really that important, but I want a company that caters to me, that tries to help me rather than trying to trap me into something that I don't really need. Point number 3, and probably the most important point out of all these, like all the other points that I'm listing, like, yeah, they're kind of annoying to me, but point number 3 is the biggest, and Bluehost is slow. They are so slow. Logging into my Bluehost dashboard, so incredibly painfully slow. Logging into my WordPress dashboard, slow. Everything about Bluehost is slow, and that's exact opposite of what you need when it comes to a website. The last thing you want is to have your website be slow, and they are synonymous with slow. Bluehost is the worst when it comes to speed. Okay, now just to illustrate this point, again, I'm using facts here. I had a client come to me the other day, and they said, well, they were on Bluehost previously. They came to me and they said, Bryce, my website is so slow. What is going on? So I went and ran a Google PageSpeed test, and on Bluehost, just without anything else, I mean, granted, their website did need to be optimized, but just on running on Bluehost, they scored a 5 out of 100. Horrible, terrible. Now, what I did was I took that website, I just made a copy of it, I moved it over to my own hosting with A2 Hosting, and just right off the bat, from not doing anything else but copying it to a different web host, their score jumped to a 40 out of 100. Now again, 40 out of 100, that's not that great of a score anyway, but going from a 5 to a 40 simply by changing web hosting companies is huge. Granted, the website did need a bunch of other optimizations and tweaks and tunings to get it up to a 70 or 80 or, whatever, to have an actual good score. But that, guys, that's not the point. Going from a 5 to a 40, literally doing nothing but changing the web hosting company. Why? Point number 4 is that, just plain and simple, I don't believe in their company. Maybe this isn't as important to you as it is me, but I only want to do business with companies that have a good company culture, a good reputation, and Bluehost just flat out doesn't have any of those things. Check this out. If you go to Google, just type "why is Bluehost" and nothing else. These are the Google suggestions. Why is Bluehost so slow? Why is Bluehost not working? Why is Bluehost so expensive? Bad, cheap. Why is my Bluehost site down? There is one suggestion here that why Bluehost is the best. I don't want to associate myself with a business that doesn't have a great company culture. And on top of that, check this out. If you go to Glassdoor, which, if you're not familiar, is a company where, or a website where you can look at company reviews, anonymous reviews posted by actual employees that worked there. When I search for Bluehost, you can see 1 star, avoid working with Utah divisions, not a great place, all employees are replaceable, great with a catch. So notice this one though. Under the cons, things did change when they were acquired by Endurance International, which is that EIG company I talked about earlier. Last but not least, point number 5 is they simply don't scale. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients come to my hosting and say, Bryce, I can't believe how terrible this is. I was with Bluehost or HostGator. My website's not that big. I run a dog grooming business and I have like 150 or 200 website visits per month. And they have told me, they sent me an email saying that my website is using too many resources. Like, can you help me with this? And I just have a hard time believing that. I go in, I look at their cPanel, I look at all the different things. They're not getting any traffic. Their website's not running any scripts. It's just not really doing anything. And yet those resources are still way too high for their servers. And they say, hey, we're actually going to shut you down. I just can't believe that. Like, when you choose a web hosting company, what you want is you want that company to help you as you scale. Yeah, when you first start your company, your website is going to be tiny. You're probably not going to have a lot of customers and clients, but obviously the goal is to grow, to earn more money, to get more websites visits and things like that. The company that you choose as a web host needs to be the backbone for your core business. And Bluehost doesn't allow you to do that. As you get more website clients and visitors and things like that, they should allow you to scale, which Bluehost flat out does not allow you to do. Now on the flip side, I haven't had any of those issues with the company that I use. So you might be asking then, if Bluehost is so terrible, why do they have so many customers? Like, Bluehost is honestly like the first thing that comes to mind. I think Bluehost is cheap. I mean, you can get started for $2.95 per month. But you know, the thing that I don't understand is that's really comparable to a lot of other web hosting companies. Check this out. So if I come to A2 Hosting, which again is the company I use, their startup plan is $1.99 per month. That's even cheaper than the $2.95 Bluehost startup plan. Like, that's what I don't understand is, yes, they're cheap, but they're not like that much cheaper than all the other web hosting companies out there. Okay, but the second reason, B, that everybody uses Bluehost is the affiliate commissions. Everyone gets paid for promoting Bluehost as their company. I think right now it's $65 per client that you refer. So if you've ever seen one of those blog posts that teaches you how to start a blog, it gives you a long step-by-step instruction on go to Bluehost, sign up for this, do this, check this, don't check this, enter in all your information. Every time that you sign up or get a customer to sign up, you make $65 per client. And that's why everybody recommends them. Now, I don't want you to confuse that and think that that's bad. Affiliate commissions, that's a very common business model. Affiliate marketing is something that everybody does. And I'm not saying that's bad. The thing that I don't appreciate is when you refer a client when you don't really have any authority to do so. And what I mean by that is when you haven't tried all of the different web hosting companies. I have tried Bluehost. I have tried HostGator. I have tried A2 Hosting. I've tried Hostinger. I've tried WP Engine. I've tried a ton of different web hosting companies. And when you just blindly refer clients to this company that will pay you money, I think that's wrong. That is not correct. I think you should compare all of the different companies out there, pick the one that works best for you, and then genuinely refer clients to that company because they work the best for you, not because they're paying you. Do I earn commissions for promoting A2 Hosting? Yes, absolutely. And I don't think it's wrong to do that because, like I said, I have the authority to do so. I am genuinely working in the web space. I deal with a lot of different companies. I've tried a lot of different companies, and I know that A2 Hosting is the best because I have tried so many. I could earn money promoting a terrible web hosting company, or I could earn money promoting a great web hosting company. So why wouldn't I do the latter and give you guys a general good recommendation that'll work well for your business? Right now, I have over 80 different web clients. I manage their websites. I host all of them myself through A2 Hosting, and I flat out could not do this through Bluehost. I just wouldn't trust my business and my customers' businesses to run on Bluehost. There you have it, my honest Bluehost review, or maybe it's not really a review and maybe it's just me venting about all the different bad experiences I've had with them. I don't know, but flat out, I just cannot recommend Bluehost. They're not a great company. Okay, last reminder, if you want to learn how to host other people's businesses, host their websites, and earn passive income for yourself, again, check out my web hosting course. Link is in the description below. The price is going to shoot up after January 1st, so make sure that you grab it on pre-order now. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you guys being here. I'll catch you in the next video.